Welcome to Chamber Chats. We host Chamber Chats every other week. My name is Ann Tuma. I am Director of Events for the Hampton Roads Chamber, and I oversee our young professional program, tHRive. We host these Chamber Chats every other week to highlight a business leader and to show how we are living our mission. I'd like to introduce Tom Marsden, tHRive's chair and Vice President of Marathon Consulting. So Tom, let's get started to talk a little bit more about tHRive. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, let me start of how I came to be in the region. I think that's a good place to start. And I'm originally Canadian, so don't discount all the outs and abouts that I'll drop. You know, I won't constantly use a, but my wife and I got married in 2006, and I was lucky enough to have an internship in the region in 2004 and fell in love with the area and came down with her in 2006. Had a job lined up, loved the region, and since then, you know, flash forward 15 years later, we have 3 kids. I've changed jobs once, and now I'm in a vice president role at Marathon Consulting, which does IT consulting. So at the core, I'm a geek or a nerd who sits behind a computer and develops solutions for our clients. Luckily, that's allowed me to transform into a lot of different spaces and help us grow the business at Marathon. But one of the things that really attracted me to tHRive is I did go through the LEAD program at the Chamber and met a lot of people who are really engaged with the community. And that spoke to me a lot because, you know, as an engineer, I find that, you know, we're so career focused the first 5-10 years of our life. We're just working on our craft. We're not, you know, heads down, late night coding sessions. You're not really looking at what's going on in the community. And as, you know, we started to develop roots in the community, have more friends, have kids in the community, sort of see where you want to affect. And as well as being a business owner, you know, really wanting to bring that knowledge back to the community and help the community grow and impact the young professionals in the community. And luckily, I had some friends who brought me into tHRive, and you know, now I sit at the chair role for the next couple of years, and really hoping to, you know, come out of the pandemic and come out of COVID and build tHRive up to be as good as it was, and if not better, to really impact people in the region.
Absolutely. I think that's so important for young professionals to remember, to get a part of the community and start at an early age, because that's how you develop relationships and move further in your career. So can you tell us a little bit more about tHRive, who tHRive is, what tHRive does, and its mission?
Well, Ann knows this as best as anybody, but I'll try to do my best. So tHRive really relies on 3 pillars. I look at it as being, you know, relationship, professional development, and community engagement. So on the relationship side, you know, we hope that tHRive can be a connector of people across different industries. So me as a developer, I might go to, you know, coding conferences or something like that, very focused on my own professional development. And financial advisors might stay in the financial space, and realtors might stay in like the realtor groups. But tHRive can really cross all those functional groups and develop relationships that maybe business owners or those people aren't really thinking about happening. So that down the road, if someone needs website help, they might come to me. Or if I need help sort of starting a new venture or being an entrepreneur, I can go to someone. Or if someone wants to buy a house, that realtor might be there to sort of help them out down the road. So you get a lot of really interesting synergies. Now, some of these might result in relationships, some might result in huge business relationships. We're really open to a lot of different just connections happening across the region. Second one being professional development, meaning, you know, I think we can develop as professionals in our own pillars, but how do you look to be, you know, almost a better leader or a better person or development outside of that comfort zone? And that's really where tHRive can bring some programming and some events to make that better across for that person developing professionally. Now, community engagement, we really looked at tHRive's impact being twofold. One being, you know, we can help out an organization in the community. So tHRive, for the last 4 or 5 years, has really connected with an organization. This year it's Samaritan House, and we learn about that organization. We teach tHRive's members about their mission, provide volunteer opportunities, and also fundraise for that organization throughout the whole year. So whether it be almost like an entry fee to one of our events, or doing specific fundraisers through social media or something like that, we can really have an impact on that particular organization and stay focused to that organization rather than trying to support many different causes. And our regional engagement committee and our fundraising director, they kind of work in tandem to make sure that connection is there. Now, another area on the community impact approach is that we can really have an impact on local issues that maybe the young professional voice doesn't rise to the occasion or doesn't get asked. And truly, we're going to be those people who are going to be impacted most about those decisions rather than the kids in school. They'll be impacted too, but we can have a voice to make that change. You know, for example, Light Royal was a big debate where the young professional organizations were at the forefront saying, you know, this can have an impact on our quality of life in the region, and we think it's a good thing. But we look for issues that really pertain to the young professionals in the region that we can have an impact, we can have a voice on. And we're planning some interesting events around getting in front of some of the state politics issues of our time that are going to have an impact on the young professionals. And I couldn't, I'll finish up quick, but I couldn't do this without, you know, the great team that's around me. So we have a really strong board of about 17 young professionals that really, you know, make this almost like a part-time job. They really volunteer their time to make an impact. And throughout those teams, we have these committees that have formed: regional engagement, membership, events, and what am I losing?
Membership.
And membership, events, regional engagement, and branding. Sorry, thank you. So those committees really make a difference to really be the arms and legs of Thrive and really get our message out there.
Absolutely. And going back to building relationships, I really think about how many young professionals who are either on the board of Thrive or involved in Thrive committees that have come back and said, hey, I have a new job at this place because I was involved with, you know, a table for 10 and met this leader at a table for 10. So I think it's really important for young professionals, as I mentioned earlier, to get involved, build those relationships, and also give back to the community. So one of the biggest focuses, I think, of regional leaders right now is really, you know, keeping the young professionals in the area, avoiding that brain drain that everyone talks about, but then also attracting young professionals to the 757. How does Thrive help with that mission?
So I think one of the big things there is that, you know, Thrive often inherits people who have maybe come to college here and joined Thrive, and then they're starting their first job, and you know, sometimes the pull to go back live in your family is great, but the pull, as speaking of someone who relocated down here from somewhere way far away, where, you know, a lot of people would say, oh, living in Toronto, that's a great thing. And I had that opportunity. I also had the opportunity to live in Seattle. But one of the things that pulls me to this region is A, the family focused aspect of it. B, there's no snow, so it's a plus. And C, just the water, the beaches, the things you can do, and the variety of different things that, you know, you can create that work-life balance. And I think the climate of you know, hybrid work or remote work is really changing, where people can choose more the location that they really want to live in, not necessarily about the businesses that are around the area, but we can promote ourselves as an area that A, can attract businesses to the area, but also attract people who maybe can choose where they want to really live. And I think we've seen some of that lately. And Thrive can help introduce those people coming to the area and really connect them into the region, build up a friend base, build up a professional network, build up things that you might not think about that really connect you back to the region. And we run a lot of events that sort of revolve around, you know, giving a deeper look into the region. So we run things like local looks, where we really spotlight a specific area and really go into details on, you know, what's happening at that certain place. For example, we did a local look recently about the new wind farm that's going to be built off the coast, and really dive into the areas. And we generated a lot of great questions off of just how that's going to impact YPs in the area and how that's going to impact going forward. Another area that we've really dived into is really creating those mentorship relationships. So you mentioned Table for Tens, and that's basically where we get a business leader and 10 young professionals, and they go out to dinner and have drinks and really talk about some issues and dive into some mentorship type questions. We're going to extend that by really using tHRive as a gateway to generate a mentorship program where we can have those, instead of a one-time relationship, we can have a constant relationship throughout the year and really connect those people with people in the area, learn about the area, and learn about things happening in the area. And lastly, I think one of the aspects that tHRive has tried to make an impact on but had trouble over the years is having a connection to the military complex. So we have all these people who come into the area for 3 years, might not see too much outside of the base, might venture off a little bit, and then move on to their next career. How do we get them to come back? Because, you know, Hampton Roads has a huge connection of entrepreneurs who used to be in the military who then choose to start their business here. We want to continue to promote that. So we actually brought Lieutenant Carrie Fawns onto our board to really help out with that and create that connection to the military, to get our message out to them, as well as bring people out to some of our events so they can better connect to what we're doing.
Yeah, and I know Carrie's, she's hitting the ground running. She's doing a great job, and I look forward to seeing more military personnel at our events in the future.
Absolutely.
So, Tom, how can young professionals get involved in tHRive? How can companies, get their young professionals connected to tHRive?
So I think there's a lot of things to gain by shining a spotlight on tHRive for your young employees. They become better connected. It's an outlet for professional development, and it shows that you're taking an interest in what they're doing. So how do you do that? Well, we have a website and talks about all of our mission, all of the things that we're running on. And one way to get started is sign up for our newsletter so you kind of know what's happening. Sign up for an event or two and come on out and bring a friend. If networking events or things like that, seem like a barrier of entry, bring someone with you. It's kind of interesting in the time we're at now, just as things are starting to open up more, and tHRive itself is having its first in-person event next week.
Yeah, next Tuesday.
Come. Everyone's a little bit awkward sort of getting back into the social scenarios. And we actually had to talk about this on one of our member meetups. And I think there's nothing really to be ashamed about. Get out there, get involved, get connected, and come to the events that you're really interested in. And if you want to help out a little bit more, there's all kinds of committees and spaces available for you to lend a hand.
Absolutely. Well, Tom, thank you so much. I appreciate all that you do for tHRive, for the community, for the Hampton Roads Chamber. Stay tuned. I think in 2 weeks we have another chamber chat, and thank you so much for everyone listening today.